The buzz has returned, but where does it all lie? We will discover. Disclaimer: yesterday, Shiba Inu demonstrated its strength by surpassing most cryptocurrencies and displaying extraordinary price rise that required trillions of tokens to transact. Shosher Kusuma seems unprepared to ease up just yet. This, in his view, is merely the prelude to something incredibly monumental. The Shiba Inu ecosystem saw a very interesting development at the start of this week. An unusual occurrence has disturbed a crucial metric for whales. According to Intini's data, there has been a remarkable uptick in huge, which is rather interesting. In spite of this uptick in transaction frequency, the volume of these transactions has dropped significantly during the past day. There have been 204 major deals, a rise of 71% according to the statistics. In most cases, a vigorous and optimistic the consensus among influential investors is that the 200 deals struck by major market participants constitute a major shift. Picture this: you're at a large party when you look over and see the room's most influential people gathered around a table, discussing crucial decisions. Rather than brushing it off, you should pay attention to it, since it signals that something significant is happening in the realm of finance. The unusual thing is how much of a difference there is in the amount of these transactions. From $6 trillion to $2 trillion, a 67% drop, is the volume of big transactions measured in Shiba Inu tokens. The drop in volume of transactions was 63%, from $1,144 million to $52 million when expressed in currency equivalents. Investors' faith in an asset's development potential is typically demonstrated when they begin to make large moves like this. Curiously, the dollar terms percentage of volume decline looked lower due to the substantial price gain of the Shiba Inu token within the same 24-hour term. Pay close attention to this. Approximately 24% rise was made to the token's price. Shiba Inu acted. On this Dogecoin Day, fans rejoice, as Bitcoin holders eagerly anticipate the once every 4 years Bitcoin possessing event. All eyes are on Dogecoin and Bitcoin at these events, which are like the crypto equivalent of the most anticipated parties of the year. Unlike Bitcoin, which people had been waiting 4 years for, Dogecoin managed to surpass it 2 days ago, and Bitcoin itself managed to surpass Dogecoin yesterday. Here we have a very large image. Shiba Inu swiftly assumes the spotlight despite the lack of a distinctive event involving it. Amid all the buzz around Dogecoin and Bitcoin, Shiba Inu managed to steal the spotlight, surprising and astounding everyone with its sudden ascent to stardom. This is probably due to the current market behavior, where investors scatter their funds across many projects, oblivious to the true value of cryptocurrencies. I'm actually not experienced enough to use this strategy. As a counterpoint, the value of Shiba Inu surges, outperforming Bitcoin and Dogecoin. Everyone wants a fast buck, so it's understandable that they'd act this way. However, while everyone was fixated on Bitcoin and Dogecoin, as indicated earlier, another cryptocurrency skyrocketed, and they lost out on possible gains. One Twitter user claims that they have uncovered an apparently simple but remarkably effective 3-step approach for enduring the unpredictable. Bitcoin investment market holding chilling. This is something else that they don't quite grasp, though. Impatience manifests itself during the holding phase, when investors lose out on potentially profitable chances because they sit tight and wait for their investments to appreciate. The reason behind this is that many people find the first step of purchase to be challenging because their emotions often get in the way of rational decision-making. Their fear prevents them from jumping on the bandwagon when costs are low and deals are plentiful. The tweet brings up an important point: being successful in the Bitcoin field calls for a strong grasp of market cycles and the ability to control one's emotions. Many investors are too impatient to wait for their own investments to rise in value, instead rushing to buy currencies that have already experienced a significant jump in value. Unfortunately, greed frequently gets in the way of making a profit when the moment is right, rather than facilitating the simple process of selling. Many people, enchanted by the promise of ever-increasing earnings, cling on for far too long, only to see those gains dwindle away. The Bitcoin market is like a player vs. player game, but most players are just mindless drones that don't strategize, don't comprehend market dynamics, and let their emotions get the best of them. The odds can be turned in the favor of investors. Anyone thinking about investing in Bitcoin would do well to heed the lesson of the tweet. Above all else, listen for the siren. A perfect example of motion-driven decision-making is the mass fascination with the Shiba Inu price chart, which occurred even among those who did not own any Shiba Inus. But before we go any further, there is something crucial to remember about the Shiba Inu oddity and the whale trades that occurred during the day. This strange occurrence is making people scratch their heads. A Twitter user has spilled the beans about how entertaining this week is going to be. In the coming week, exchange-traded funds will purchase an additional 1,000 to 3,000 Bitcoin daily. The new daily supply has been consumed, thus the Shiba Inu community is wondering why ETFs were buying up 3 times the daily quantity before they could make their own trades. I don't know if this sudden change is due to an error in the on-chain data calculations, or if something unique is happening in the Shiba Inu ecosystem, requiring 6 times the amount required each day. Also, another Twitter user claims that miners can only produce 450 coins a day for Bitcoin, which will trigger a huge supply shock. The average daily purchase of coins by US ETFs has been 321.44 coins. Are you prepared? The Bitcoin market might get a significant boost from this influx of buying pressure from ETFs, according to Twitter users. Significant purchases of Bitcoin by large institutional investors, including exchange-traded funds ETFs, have a multiplicative effect on demand and market confidence. The price of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies tends to rise in response to such a surge in demand. Online money, there will be no future. Short exposure as Hong Kong ETFs prepare to launch with heavy promotion, according to a Twitter user. It should be noted that Hong Kong has just introduced its own Bitcoin ETFs, thus it is only reasonable that they begin advertising them shortly. But why would it be prudent for them to act in this way? The halving event also reduced the daily supply of Bitcoin, which makes this purchasing pressure even more noticeable. The total supply and demand for Bitcoin is shifting towards higher prices as fewer new Bitcoins are entering circulation. The introduction of a new financial instrument, such as a Bitcoin ETF, necessitates early advertising in order to generate interest from possible investors. The advertising helps get the word out and attracts investors from all walks of life. Since the Hong Kong ETFs don't have any exposure to short-term Bitcoin prices, they can promote themselves as a safer and easier way for investors to get exposure to Bitcoin without the risks of futures contracts. I love it. It is expected that advertisements for these exchange-traded funds ETFs would soon be launched in order to capitalize on the growing interest in Bitcoin and attract potential investors. Just like other asset managers like BlackRock, this is plus. We just got word from Shushir Kusuma that ShibaSwap is getting a huge update soon. This is sure to pique people's interest in Shiba Inus, as platforms like ShibaSwap are known to do with major updates. Attention all Shiba Inu token holders. With each update comes the promise of new features, improvements, and innovations that will make using the platform even better. This, in turn, can pique investors' interest in holding Shiba Inu tokens as they look forward to the opportunities and benefits that the improved ShibaSwap platform may bring. As a result, demand for Shiba Inu tokens rises and their price goes up. Finally, tax season selling is ended in the US, which means that investors have probably finished selling assets to pay taxes. This is good news for markets because it removes downward pressure on prices, among other things. Just picture a scenario where a lot of investors sell their assets to pay taxes, which causes prices to fall. Once tax season is done, the selling pressure goes away and prices either stay the same or even go up. So absolutely, demand comes back. Quite an intriguing week ahead. However, I would love to hear your thoughts on the comment I left below. Finally, I'd really appreciate it if you could take a moment to read my thoughts on the matter. If you're interested in learning more, I've included links to several films on the screen for your perusal. Please like and comment on the video if you enjoyed it. This will help the YouTube algorithm. Sharing this article with as many people as possible is another great way to help get the word out.